that opens the door to human relationship. So how do
So,
we
how do we
listen?
listen?
Well,
It turns
that
out
we often
that we
take
often
listening
take
for granted
listening for granted
as something easy
as
and natural.
something easy and
But in
natural.
fact, at least in
But
my
in fact, at
experience,
least in my
real
experience,
listening,
real
genuine
listening,
listening,
genuine listening,
is something that
is
needs to be
something
learned
it
and
needs
practiced every
to be
day.
learned and to practice every
In
day.
ordinary listening,
In ordinary listening,
we're hearing
we're
the
hearing the
words and
words.
we're often thinking,
We're often
where
thinking,
do I
where
agree?
do I agree?
Where do I
Where do
disagree?
I disagree?
What am I going to say in
What am
response?
I going to say in
In other words,
response? In other
the
words, is the
focus
focus
is on
is
us.
on us.
In genuine
In
listening,
genuine
however,
listening,
the
however,
spotlight
the spotlight
moves
moves
to the other
to
person.
the other person.
We put ourselves
We
in
put
their
ourselves
shoes.
in their shoes.
We tune into
We
their
turn into their
wavelength.
wavelength.
We listen from
We
within their
listen
frame of
from within their
reference,
frame of
not just
reference,
ours.
not just ours.
And that's not
And
easy.
that's not easy.
In genuine
In
listening,
genuine listening,
we listen
we
not just
listen
for
not
what's
just
being
for
said,
what's being said,
but for what's
but
not
for
being
what's
said.
not being said.
We listen not just to
We
the
listen not
words,
just to the words,
but to what's
but to what's
behind the
behind the
words.
words.
We listen for
We
the
listen
underlying
for the
emotions
underlying
and
emotions,
feelings,
feelings,
the underlying
and
needs,
the underlying needs.
what that person
What
really
that
needs or
person,
wants.
what that
Let me
really
give you an
needs
example.
or wants. Let me give
About a
you
year
an
and a half
example.
ago,
About a year and a
I
half
was
ago,
invited
I
to
was
ask a
invited to
Brazilian
ask a
entrepreneur by
Brazilian
the name of Abilio
entrepreneur
Diniz
by the name of Abilio
to help
Diniz,
him because he was
who
trapped
is
in a
trapped in a
titanic legal
titanic
dispute
legal dispute
with his French
with his
business
French
partner
business partner
over the
over
control
the
of
control of
Brazil's
Brazil's
largest retailer.
largest retailer.
The Financial
The
Times
Financial
called it
Times called
perhaps
it perhaps
the
the
biggest
biggest
cross-continental
cross-continental
boardroom
boardroom
showdown in
showdown
recent
in
history.
recent history.
It had gone on for two and a
It
half
had
years,
gone
and it
on
was
for two
immensely
and was
costly
immensely
and
costly and
stressful,
stressful.
not only to both
No,
parties,
not
but to
least
their
was the parties,
families
but their
and the
families and the
150,000 employees
150,000
of the company.
employees on the company of the company.
So when I sat down
So
with
when I
Abilio in his
sat down
home
with
and
Abilio in
listened
his
to his
home, I
story,
listened to his
and after that
story,
I had a
and
question.
after
I
that
said,
I had a question.
Abilio, help me understand
Abilio,
here.
help me understand here.
What do you really
What
want?
do you really want?
And he said, well,
And
I
he
want
said,
the
well, I
stock at a
want
certain
the
price.
stock at a
I
certain
want,
price. I want
the company
the company
headquarters. I
headquarters.
want the
I want
elimination of the
the elimination
non-compete
of the
clause.
non-compete
And he gave me
clause.
a list.
He gave me a
But I,
list,
as I
and
listened, heard
as I
something
listened,
deeper
I
there that
heard
was
something
unspoken.
deeper that
So I
there
asked him,
spoken.
Abilio,
I asked him,
you're a man who
Appeal,
seems to
your
have everything.
man who
What are these
seems
things
that
really going to
everything,
give you?
what
What do
the
you
thing is
most
really
want in
going
your
to,
life?
what do you most want
He
in your
paused for a
life?
moment
He
and thought
paused
about
for
it.
a moment,
And
and
finally he
so
said,
finally he said,
freedom.
freedom.
I
I
want my
want
freedom.
my freedom.
I want to be
He
free to
wanted to be free
pursue
to
my
pursue my
business
business
dreams,
dreams,
and I want to be
and I
free to
want to be
spend
free to
time with my
spend time
family.
with my family.
That was it.
That was that.
I was hearing the human
I was
being
hearing the
behind the
human being
words,
behind the
not
words,
just the
not
champion
just the
businessman.
champion businessman.
And so once we were
Once
clear
we're clear
about his
about his
deepest need,
deepest needs,
then the negotiation
then the
itself,
negotiation
while
itself, while
challenging,
challenging,
became a lot
became a
easier.
lot easier.
And in 4
And
short
in four
days,
short
my
days, my
colleagues and
colleague and
by
I,
listening to
by
the other
listening to
side,
the other
were
side,
able to take this
will be
titanic
able to
dispute
take the
and
Titanic
resolve it with a
dispute and
settlement that
resolve
left
it
both
with a
sides
settlement
highly
that left us
satisfied.
highly
As
satisfied.
Abilio, who became
As
a friend
Abilio,
in the
being a
process,
friend in
later
the
told me,
process, later told
I got
me,
everything I
I
wanted,
got everything I
but
wanted,
most
but
importantly,
most
I got my
importantly, I
life
got
back.
my life back.
How did that
How
happen?
did that happen?
Through the
Through the
simple
simple
power of
power of
listening.
listening.
So if
So,
listening
if listening
is
is
so
so
useful,
useful,
why isn't
why isn't
everyone doing it?
everyone doing it?
Well, to tell you the truth,
To tell you
it's
the
not
truth,
so
it's
easy.
not so
I
easy.
mean, if I reflect on my own
And if I
experience for a
reflect
moment,
on my
there are times
experiences,
when
there
I
is
feel
times
like,
when I feel
you know,
like
I'm
I am
listening pretty
listening
well in my
pretty
work,
well in my work,
only to go home and
only to
find
go
out
home and
I'm
find out
not
I'm not
listening
listening
so
so
well
well
to my
to
wife,
my
for
wife,
example.
for example.
It's humbling,
It's
I can tell
humbling, I
you.
can't tell you.
The, the real
The real
problem in the
problem
way,
in the
what makes
way,
it so
what makes
hard
it
to
so
listen,
hard to listen,
is that there's so
is
much
that there
going
is
on
so
in our
much going on
minds,
in our
so
minds,
much
so
noise
much
and
noise and
distraction,
distraction,
that we don't have the
that we don't
mental and
have the
emotional
mental and
space
emotional
to be able to
space to
truly
be
listen
able
to
to
the other side.
truly listen to other side.
So, how
So,
do we
how
clear
do
our
we clear
minds?
our minds?
It may seem
It
odd,
may seem odd,
but the secret
but
I
the
find
secret I find
is if we want to
is if you
listen
want to
to the other
listen to the other
side,
side,
we have to
we
learn to
have to
listen
learn
to
to listen
ourselves
to
first.
ourselves first. When I was sitting there with President Chavez, what really helped me was that just beforehand, I'd taken a few moments of quiet, just to pay attention to what was going to for me and listen to myself to quiet my mind. So when he began shouting, I was ready. I could notice that my cheeks were reddening, that and my jaw was a little clenched. I felt some fear and some anxiety. And by paying attention to those intentions and emotions, I was able to let them go so that I could really listen to President Chavez. So what if before an important, delicate or sensitive conversation, we took a moment of silence just to turn in and listen to where we are. I believe that if we did that, if we were to really listen to ourselves first, we would find a lot of easier to listen to others. This final question is if we listen more, what difference could it make in the world? I believe it would make a huge difference. As in the course of my mediation work, I personally witnessed the enormous cost of conflict, the broken relationship, the broken families, the stressed out workplaces, the ruinous lawsuits, and the senseless wars. And that always strikes me is the biggest opportunity that we have actually is to prevent this conflict even before they start. How do we do that? It's not easy, but it almost always starts with one simple step: listening. This is my dream. A listening revolution that can turn the age of communication into an age of listening. In other words, an age of true communication. Imagine for a moment a world in which every child learns to listen at an early age. What if they taught listening in school, like we teach reading as a core skill? After all, listening is how we read people. Imagine a world in which parents learn to listen to their children. What better way, after all, is there for us, which lead children to listen to us, than for us to listen to them? What better way for us to show our children that they truly matter? What better way is there to show our love? As an extra bonus, maybe we see happier marriages and fewer divorces as couples learn to listen to each other. Imagine a world in which leaders learn how to listen to the people. What if we choose leaders based on their ability to listen, not just talk? What if listening became the norm in our organization and just not just exception? What if on radio and TV we had not just talk shows, but listen shows? What if we had not just peace talks, but peace listens? I firmly believe that we get yes a lot more often. We might not eliminate all conflict, but we would avert a lot of fights, and even worse, everybody would be much better off. And I very happily might be out of job. That's my dream. And while it might seem audacious, it's not that complicated. Listening can be a key reaction in which each person who is genuinely listened to feels naturally inspired to listen to the next. Listening can be contagious. And so I invite you to start the chain reaction today, right here, right now. In your next conversation with a colleague or client, a partner or child, a friend or a stranger. Give them your full attention and listen to the human being behind the word. Because of the biggest gifts we can give anyone is the gift of being heard. With the simple power of listening now.
we can
transform our relationships, our families,
and
and our world for the better,
year
year
by year.
by year.
Thank you
Thank you for listening.